All right, guys, welcome back. I call this video the red pill for the church. This book, I read this book in about 10 years ago. So it's about 2011, somewhere in that range. But this book is not something that changed my views. My views already came from my own personal research, and it just consolidates a lot of the things that I've learned over the years. The book is Pagan Christianity by Viola and George Barna. So I'm going to go through what they talk about. I'm not going to go completely in depth because that would be forever. I do have 2 pages worth of notes here. One of the things on page 5, it says, have we ever asked why we do the things that we do? This quote from Paul E. Bradshaw stuck out to me. It says, the 4th century Christianity absorbed and Christianized pagan religious ideas, seeing itself as the fulfillment to which earlier religions had dimly pointed. A couple years ago, for Christmas, my brother bought me a coin, which got lost when I had a stroke. It was a coin from Constantine. Constantine had rays upon his head, and the cross was the Iron Cross. And on the coin it said, Sol Invictus. It was very clear that the cross on Constantine's coin was a pagan cross and not the Christian cross on his official money. Holding in my hands tangible proof that Constantine was a pagan just confirmed thoughts I had about Constantine to begin with. So these 2 authors, Frank Viola and George Barna, go through modern Christianity and the things we associate with Christianity point by point. The first point is the church buildings. They talk about Constantine's role in how the church builds what they build. The first segment is called House Churches to Holy Cathedrals. The second section is the creation of sacred spaces and objects. And then it was Constantine, the father of the church building, the Constantine's church building program, early Christian church buildings. I think it's interesting to look at how the design of the church, from all these different aspects, from the steeple, pulpit, the pew, all come from pagan ideas. I highly recommend this book. It should be pretty easy to get. Then they talk about the order of the worship service. The term worship, you need to check out my video on worship. I have a in-depth study of the biblical term for worship. And it talks about the sermon, and then the pastor/priest, where we got the one bishop rule, and how classes in the church came about. The difference between clergy and laity. All right, so we're at 5 minutes. That means that you've all tuned out by now. One thing that Jesus says is they did not believe the lies of the Nicolaitans. My understanding is those who put themselves above the laity. Of course, that idea would not match with the Christian church, so no Christian academic is going to endorse that, because that would destroy their ideas. Talks about church worship, tithing, the sacraments, and then the next one, Christian education. Christian education is, in my opinion, the creation of a Christian elite. So now we say, through this process, these are the people we can trust and no one else. And then he takes another look at the New Testament and how we fit that with the Old Testament. So you guys have heard the term red pill before, but I think it's time for Christians to take the red pill and look at where the church come from. One thing that they don't talk about in this book is our holidays, our Christian holidays. Christmas, Easter, which I should do a video on just the Christian holidays and show the pagan roots of those. We take the Christian holidays the same way we take all of these things, is because it's now Christianized, it's now holy. Now, I love Christmas. I love giving presents, but there's no way that December 25th was the birth of Christ. The best evidence I've seen is, I'm glad everybody's tuned out by now. It's 9/11, September 11th as the birth of Christ. So how's that for? That would be not a good holiday to celebrate Christ, would it? I think the point of this book is not to bash pastors or churches, but to expose where these ideas came from. So I would suggest picking up this book and giving it a read before the yelling and screaming and all that stuff. Now, the next video I'm going to do, or that I'm planning on doing, let's just put it that way, is the 10 Commandments of the modern church, which none of them are biblical, in my opinion. But hey, I guess this stands as a record, not so much as think people view.